Hi guys, I'm giving you an update on the design task you gave me earlier this week. We'll go through a quick report about the process I have been following to design this solution, and then I'll show you an iPad and iPhone wireframe prototypes of the results. Okay, so one moment. Um, okay, first of all, what is that? It's a staff management app for bars and restaurants called Shiftcraft. So the introduction is basically the information that you gave me before in the PDF, but then I synthesized it into three main objectives, which would be for owners. How does John, the manager, creates shifts and manage the labor based on the employee's day-to-day availability for the entire week? So that's the first task. And then the second one is for employees. How do employees submit their availability for the next week? And then again, for employees, by submitting their schedule, employees must create a simple profile, name, mail, phone, and so on. Okay, so these are the main objectives, the way I synthesized them. Um, Personas would be John, the owner, and Sarah, the waitress. I did a quick research of the competition products or similar products. For example, when I work, deputies, 7 shifts, and so on. And also, I talked with a real restaurant owner and a real waitress to figure out the typical schedule making process. So it turns out for an owner to create shifts, they first need to have the availability for their employees, which makes it much easier, which is pretty much the task here. Um, okay, so based on that, I figured that we have two different user journeys depending on owner and employee. So for the owner, they would install an iPad app in their case, set up an account for themselves and for the restaurant, then invite staff members, and at this point, they could create shifts, but it would be better to wait for staff to add availability and then create and submit schedule. So that's the owner user journey. And then for employees would be to install iPhone app um, and then create an account, add availability, and then receive schedule by owner. So these would be the user journeys that we'll quickly follow. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me show you. So first, it would be the iPad prototype, which would be for the owner. Um, in this case, we would have a simple screen that says the name of the app, what is it about, and then ask for a phone number to get verified. So again, this is like a quick demo. I'm not gonna figure out all the details, but let's just follow the flow here. We would create a quick account with name, first name, last name, email, agree with terms and conditions. And once these are all filled in, the next button would lit up as active. Then we would have like a welcome screen that says, please select whether you would like to join an existing team or create a new one. So let's create a new one. In this case, we're presented to a screen that is where we're supposed to create a business, like business name, country, city, time zone, and so on. Once we do that, we see a little bit of like a My Team screen where we see ourselves. So John Smith, the owner in this case, and he could invite employees here or team members by this button on the very low corner. And you could, of course, click next if you want to add them later. But in this case, let's say we're quickly adding Sarah, the waitress, just for presentation purposes. And then we were presented to the screen where it says, let's create the schedule. So we click on go to schedule and we see a simple schedule page. where it says you haven't created any shifts yet. Again, the owner could very easily at this point create shifts, but it would be much better if they wait for availability from their employees. So this is a screen that represents where no availabilities are still presented, but this one would be the one where we see Sarah's, the waitress, availability in the way she has submitted it. So the owner very easily can see what hours and what days Sarah is available. So um, this is another screen that shows what happens when we have more than one employee. This is not like completely scalable. I can see how this would basically become crazy if there's like more than 10 employees. But for small restaurants, this could work. Again, for like larger organizations, we could think of another way of doing it. But anyways, just like a quick demo of how the schedule, how availability would look like. So based on this availability, let's go back to Sarah. Let's keep it simple for now. Based on Sarah's availability, the owner could add a shift now, so they could go ahead and fill up the waitress, I mean the role, the employee, what day and what time the shift starts and ends, and then click save. And then as you see now in the dark green, we have the actual shifts. And in the light green are the availabilities. So here on the bottom, we can actually disable availability or disable shifts. In this case, we show both, but at some point, it might get really crazy. So it would be nice to like filter what's being seen here. So once we have that, the owner could click on publish. And well, this is another example of more people actually with shifts in the schedule. So once the owner has it all done, they click publish, and we land on the home page or the home screen actually on the app, where the owner could see that the schedule has been published. Your team members could invite new ones, maybe some announcements that they need to make, how many people have seen them, and so on. So very, very basic schedule for restaurants. And the app would have more and more screens, but for this short amount of time, it wouldn't matter to show them all. So after that, I would like to quickly show you how it would look on with high fidelity designs. So the first screen of Shiftcraft could look something like this. Again, very similar and simple to what you saw before, just added a little bit of color, a little bit of photos, welcome to Shiftcraft, create a new team, then the schedule, and so on, and the home screen with photos this time, and a little bit more color. So that's it on the iPad presentation. Now I'm going to show you the waitress's experience, which would be a little bit different. It would be on iPhone. And from her perspective, she would have to provide the owner with availability. So let's start here. This is like the landing screen. Continue with creating an account real quick. Then it says, welcome to Shiftcraft. Let's create a new team or join an existing one. Since Sarah is an employee, she would click on the existing one, and she would see that she has been invited to Tasty Place. This is the name of the restaurant by John Smith. And of course, if she hasn't been invited, she could also find teams, but let's not dive into that yet. So she selects Tasty Place. She sees her team. For now, it's like just two people, herself and John. And she clicks next. And then she's being asked to enter her availability. So she could do it now or do it later, but let's go with now. And she sees an iPhone version of the schedule. She could scroll it left and right. easily to see all days, but in this example, let's just follow the demo. So she's going to quickly add availability. So she clicks on the big button and she fills up the information, which would be what day she's filling in availability for, the start and end, and then she has the also the option to apply this for other days. So once she sets this up, she can say, all right, well, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I could do the same schedule. And she clicks save, and her availability appears here. And when she publishes it, John, the manager or the owner, could see all that and basically add shifts. Um, so that's pretty much it. The other screens are again like a little bit of a high fidelity screens to show how a finished product might look like on an iPhone. Again, a simple home screen with ability to change language. Start by adding her phone. Um, and a few other screens that you already saw, this time with imagery. Select an existing team, my team, and then the actual schedule for Sarah. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to provide a link for Figma to see it all if you need. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.